G'day, Tim here from Self-Sufficient Home Life. We did come in here to check on the pawpaw that we dropped in about an hour ago. The image on the lead into this video was the pawpaw being dropped in with the chooks having a bit of a peck. They've murdered it, and this is about an hour and a half later. As you can see, the seeds, they've been scattered around into the soil, and over the next couple of days they'll just keep on burying them into the soil and just turning it over. The soil gets quite deep in here, and they know what they're doing. You can't stop them from scratching. And you end up with seeds and a seed bank in this soil. And so we're relying on that now for the largest percentage of our seedlings and plants, because the chooks are doing the work for us. So I'll take you for a wander through the yard and we'll show you the pawpaw trees that are growing from this soil, from that activity. Okay, we're to the first tree. This is a self-sown tree that came up when we'd moved a bunch of soil into this garden when we rejuvenated it a few years ago, probably about three and a half years ago. It's a yellow pawpaw, or papaya, and it has self-sown, and it is a robust plant. It is doing just incredibly well. This is just one head of a multi-head plant. If you work your way around through here, you'll see that you have another head there. You have another one up high, the tallest one up there. And coming around this side, there is another one again, with multiple young ones coming up on the trunk. As you work down, you'll see multiple heads starting to pop out and produce. So that's the first plant from the self-sown things. We'll just jump across to the next tree. This tree is a cloned plant bought from a nursery or a garden centre. It's a red pawpaw or papaya, very sweet. It's a good producer, and it is one of the plants that, well, it's probably the plant that has given us a lot of other plants on the block, but somewhere along the line the yellow ones arrived. So we don't know if it's a throwback to the original plants or it's just crossed over somewhere. Anyway, this plant here, you'll notice that it's got multiple heads on it again. This one's got 3. And the main trunk is heavy in fruit at the moment at the top. It's the plants are young. The fruit are young, I should say, not the plant itself. The plant is about 5 years old. It's a reliable one, very sweet. It's probably one of our favourites. And each fruit ends up being about 1 to 2 kilos per fruit. And when you're getting half a dozen in a go, it's called a glut. We get a few of those, it's good. We'll jump across to the next tree. Okay. This pawpaw or papaya is a true self-sown. We've thrown seeds out from the kitchen occasionally, and they just get mixed up in the soil, get mulched over, get scratched around when we stir the beds up when we're weeding or planting other things. This one's self-sowed. It's a red pawpaw, and it is the progeny of the bought tree that we can assume. The interesting thing about this plant, this fruit, is the tightness of the cluster. It's so prolific up there that we've actually got to pick them when they're just starting to show yellow, because the fruit's so tightly clustered. You tear the stem out of the fruit trying to pick it. So it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. It's a quality problem. This tree's about 2 years old, and it's great because it's sheltering the tank. The tree is on the western side, the afternoon sun, the tank's protected, and that's great. That's that tree. We'll take you to the final area and we'll talk about those. This area here was a redevelopment from a banana patch that was out of control. There's a blog post on that on the website about having fish in the pool and the filtration systems, and our story about 5 to 6 years of living with fish in the pool and how we coped and faced the challenges of it. Anyway, back to the pawpaw. This is a male at the base, and thinks it's a female in certain parts. It's a bisexual at the moment and is showing to be predominantly male at the top now, so we will leave that here. It helps pollinate the others, just in case they are asexual and just the females. This tree is shading the tank, just like the last one, which is great. This pawpaw was planted in April of 2021. We're now in September 2021. The next few trees we're going to show you are of the same age, planted at the same time, and they were bare root transplants from self-sown seeds from the chook pen. This tree here is a female. The female flower in there. It's, as you can see, the height. To be a few months away before we start picking fruit off this. It's one of the slowest ones we've got here. You come to this one, and this one is the surprising one. There's a lot of lessons that this plant has taught us. Again, April, we're now September. It was a bare root transplant, and it was about 200 mil or 8 inches high when we transplanted it. It's in fruit. It's got plenty of female flowers at the top here, and it's going to be a good producer. It's going to be a prolific producer. And the height of it is taller than I am. And there's a reason why. This plant is the same, just a bit shorter, a bit slower. So the secret to these plants, and any plant that is self-sown, particularly the papaya, when it comes to the chook pen, we've had extreme success in this area here because of the soil. The soil was fed, when it was a banana patch, by the waste from the swimming pool, which was basically fish poo. And the worm activity here was off the charts. It actually overfed the bananas to the point that they weren't fruiting anymore. They were struggling. So we pulled them out and we've reinvented this area, which is very beneficial. It's actually far more productive for us. But the pawpaws are the main reason we're here today. And yes, you can grow pawpaws from seeds, and we do it through the chook pen because there's no work for us. We've just got to spread the soil around them, which we do every year when we top these beds up. The seeds germinate. We just transplant them wherever there's a spot where we want one, and that's it. It's done. So we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.